Asking for a raise, it can be tough, but many workers continue to see their paychecks being stretched thinner and thinner with rising prices across the board. So now as we enter a new year, we're bringing in our financial expert, Paul Hood from Hood CPAs to break down what you need to know when asking for a raise. Paul, thanks for being here.
You bet. I'm glad you have me.
Okay, well, we're always happy to have you. So, starting this kind of conversation with your boss, of course, that can be pretty nerve-wracking for anybody. What are some things that if they feel like they've earned a raise, they would like to start the conversation, what should they walk into that office? What are a few things they should do beforehand?
Well, a couple of comments. First, it really depends on who you work for. Like you and I were talking earlier that there's some people that are big pie people and some people are small pie people. Small pie people think, well, it's all mine, I can't give you any because there's not enough to go around. Big pie people think there's enough to go around, so you know they base their success on other people. The one thing I would tell you as an employer, I have about 200 staff members across 8 states, and the raise is not earned that day. The raise is earned in what you've done in the prior 12 months. And if you work for a good company, they understand that my staff are my partners. And if I base my success on the success of others, then I've got the right attitude. Mm-hmm. So be prepared on what you've done. Don't be scared. You know, worst case scenario is they're going to say no. And it's the people that seize the moment that do it. So, you know, don't be timid, be prepared, know what you're worth. You know, maybe do some research on your work environment or your task, your job, and there's plenty of places out there. Go to Indeed and those kind of things. The worst thing for an employer, though, is for somebody to just leave. So give your employer the chance.
Absolutely. Well, some of the best advice I got when I was first starting in my career was keep note of the things that you do and that you do well and how you contribute to the team. And also, like you said, know your worth so that when you go into the office, you're prepared and it's kind of like your pitch to your boss.
That's exactly right.
What are things that you should not say when you go into that conversation?
So, and I struggle with this a little bit. I can't stand an entitlement attitude. So if you've earned it, yes. If you're coming in just because the calendar changed from December to January, that bothers me. Because the best way to get advancement, to get raises, to make more money is to assume more responsibility, to take things off of the person that's above you, to be willing to do extra. So, you know, I'd be careful being demanding. I would go into it like, you know, this is your business partner, you want to show your worth and express your concerns, but you go in there and I'm going to leave if you don't do this, then, you know, you're probably going to be packing up your stuff.
It would certainly give that manager reason for pause.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about somebody, if they are, say, an employer or a manager and they deal with those kind of conversations, what should they know? You know, when an employee comes and asks for a raise, how should they handle that? What would your advice be to them? Well,
you know, it depends on the manager. Studies show that a person can really only manage 6 to 10 people. And if that person has, and this applies to both sides, if your boss has 20 people that report to them, the chances are of them knowing exactly what you do is slim. So if I'm the manager, then you've got to humble yourself too. And you've got to understand that people are struggling and all that kind of stuff. And if you can't afford to give them a raise right now, for me, I honor the fact that they have the guts to come and talk to me instead of just jumping ship and running. So if they can't give you a raise right now, then say, what can I do to take on more responsibility? Or if you're the manager, say, listen, let's plan this out, and let's say if you do this, this, and this in the next 6 months, then we can give you this, so that it's more of a alliance, if you will, between the two of you.
Right. I like that. Well, Paul, thank you so much for coming in today. It's always good seeing you.